Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a cast of a game of StarCraft. My name is JaKaTaK and we have here spawning in the top right hand corner of our screen the red Protoss GPX. And in the bottom right, not spawning cross spawn, we have Energy Switch, the blue Terran. So, this is Heart of the Swarm, so I sped things up just a bit. We had one Gas Reaper expansion, which you can see here. Nice building placement. Makes it a little bit difficult for this Reaper to maneuver rather, and ooh, is trapped. Nicely done by the Protoss here, maneuvering that around and trapping. So that was a one Gas Reaper expand into the command center. Gonna be following up with double racks, and GPX here is doing the double gas. So these two gases were down quite fast on 15, then 2 in each. Double gas expansion. Getting that mothership core down, such a critical part of Heart of the Swarm. Making sure you have that photon overcharge to keep you nice and safe. And poking out with the stalker on the map. Let's check out the micros. Ooh, micros. The micros are real. Ooh, going for a kill, getting a kill. And he's just gonna kill this directly in its face. Nothing it can do about it, so that worked out really nicely. Switch was a little greedy there with the units being made. The Reaper was killed as well. So, I mean, you can kite Marines all day with this Stalker, and this is just a great position for GPX to be in here, and Switch realizing that and chasing the mothership core a bit as well. Nicely done. We have 2 kills on this mothership core, so managed to sneak in here, get a couple of kills, and we'll now get out with only a little bit of hull damage here. And in the meantime, oh no, dropping a mule in the natural is so not what you want to do at this point in time. Very likely just this reflex of, oh yeah, this is where I drop my mules, and throwing that mule down, like, oh, I just dropped it in front of a stalker. Awful moments that happen to humans, and we're all humans, and these two humans had some things happen to them so far, so that is all we are. We are a series of events and situations. So, here we have the factory coming down, stim and all that, so no mech. Always sad to see no mech versus Protoss, so I'm sad a lot. But seriously, mech versus Protoss is the coolest thing ever. If you mech versus Protoss, you're my hero. And we have the usual games coming around, you know, you have the bio and the stim and stuff like that. The interesting things, no tech being scouted here, the forge just out of position. Gonna be able to scout this saturation over here. Interesting thing. So what is the Protoss going to do this game? So we got Blink, got an Observer. Nothing coming in from this forge just yet. But both players managing their resources very well. And big economic lead for GPX here. The not making of workers from this orbital command, and then the kills in the beginning over here, and then some more over here, has spiraled into this huge economic lead. Just the incomes just majorly ahead. 400 minerals a minute ahead for the Protoss. So that's very significant. It's going to be difficult for Switch to come back from that, but of course, not impossible. And this is Switch's first attempt here to reduce the deficit, the supply deficit, the economy deficit. Pushing into some army here, and gonna try to get some damage done. Very promptly discarded, and this is why I hate the mothership core. One of the many reasons why I hate the mothership core. It's like, hey, let's do this thing here that promotes non-interaction, and gonna come down here, focus in, and the best thing to have done there would have been to not interact, which is unfortunate and counterintuitive, but true. And lots of kills there. Really nice pickup. Gets the Immortal, a very important tech unit. And he's actually gonna push out here. He's in a position now to deal with that because there's only 2 Marauders left, but overall, just doing some non-interaction back here and waiting, being patient would have worked out much better. And Switch is going to use this to go ahead and take a 3rd base. Terran versus Protoss, generally speaking. The Terran is going to get their bases earlier. Nice placement on this observer, gets to see all the units as they come out, so he's got a good idea. Oh, now he really has a good idea. The number of units, and we have the first medevacs, I believe. Yeah, the first medevacs coming out. So now our Protoss player gets into the world of drops and defending against drops, and that's the phase that we move into here for this Protoss versus Terran. We go ahead and get charge as well. Nice, and we do have the robotics facility. Robotics bay, excuse me. Facility's been up for a while. And after all those units got killed off, it's gonna be a tough split here if he chooses to attack in multiple locations. Nice observer placement. Really gotta switch, get on top of the scans. Oh, just gonna focus this Immortal down. Oh, and it tries to run, but it gets body blocked there. Gonna take some hits in the meantime from the Zealots in the front, as well as a Photon overcharge, but overall, pretty cost-efficient engagement over here. Oh my god, look at the heals. The heals are reals. And overextending just a bit there, taking a little bit more damage than was necessary, but again, takes out another Immortal. This Gateway army is not, it's not strong enough to just take on Bio without any backup. They need support. Unless they have way more stuff. Oh, the delay in moving out from that pickup was almost really awful. Ended up being okay because all the units were in the stronger medevac and everything moving out of position over here. You should be able to get out of here safely. Nicely done. Nicely done. Switch is looking good, but overall, GPX defending this pretty well. Ooh, that is a bit vulnerable. But only one medevac of damage units over here so far. Really good observer placement, really using this. There are two ways, right, that you can use your observers in this matchup. You can use I just have a couple observers and I make sure to have one on the army, so I know when the drops are going out. Or you can have this sort of zoning observer placement where you just have them in different areas and you can see what's going on for the most part. Oh, direct engagement, nice. Keeping those Colossus alive is really important here. Good blink ahead. Focusing down the medevac, really important. Making sure that they can escape, excuse me, a little bit of my New Englander coming out there. Yo, Mista, I gotta escape this. But running through over here, targeting down the robotics facility, nicely done. And that is going to be pretty sweet. Gets the Colossus as well. But it's tough. It's a kind of tough scenario over here. Ooh, Colossus all alone. Only one Marauder to get things done with. And this Protoss player, through all this, despite all this damage that's been taken, is gonna finish up this third base, which is really important. Being on even economy with the Terran as a Protoss player puts you in a pretty good position, and especially because we have the Storm finishing up, so that's gonna round out the main two sources of splash, which is really what makes it changes the Terran versus Protoss match when the different forms of splash get into position. Let's see if we have any high tempo on the map. Just one so far. Where is it? Oh, it's right up here in position for some feedbacks. Interestingly enough, this position is pretty vulnerable at the moment. But really forward observer placement is super nice. Ooh, gonna run in here, maybe snipe the Nexus. Reaction time is relatively slow, but it's fast enough. No focusing down of the Nexus, not getting too greedy. He's trying to kite these melee units. The Zealots working quite well at that. And ooh, where's the vision here? Doesn't know. He's expecting some kind of a drop. A lot of Zealot. This is really Zealot heavy army here. It gets a full surround on the bio. Nicely done. Excellently defended, and GPX moves further into the lead now. So this third base was defended well, and we've had quite a few overextensions from Switch. Getting in, doing some good damage, but then getting greedy with the damage, being like, oh, I could get just a little bit more, and then you end up losing most of the units. Moving up to 77 SCVs. So just a little bit of overproduction on the SCVs. 66 is what can be optimally used on 3 bases, 88 for 4. This 4th base is not finished up, but generally speaking, you, as a Terran player, not gonna want to go that high unless you're playing a really trade heavy style, which, I mean, you could say that Switch is playing a trade-heavy style, or you can say that Switch is making some mistakes here and overextending. Nice move in here. Pulling the army out of position over here and then focusing down the Nexus. Oh, it's gonna be close, but oh, it just barely makes it out. Nicely done. Going to try and get this Colossus. Same thing, right? A little bit of extra greed there, loses some units that didn't need to be lost there. And sure, it's just a few units, but we're seeing this tendency from Switch over and over again to do these little overextensions, and it's definitely hurting Switch in the long run. Viking production, I think, just starting now. It's been all bio to this point. Ooh. Orbital, not orbital command. Planetary Fortress not done just yet. Ooh, focusing down these High Templar. Gets one. The other is remaining safe for the time being. Nice repair. And finally, this Planetary Fortress is up. That's going to help a lot. The splash damage against the Zealot, spreading out over here into the corners, trying to get some good surface area. And this Planetary Fortress just fighting a Colossus, but very low unit count over here. This is a tough situation. Planetary Fortresses, though, super strong. The flank of units coming in over here, focusing in, trying to take out these Colossus. That's going to put the pressure off the Planetary Fortress and onto the Bioforces to attempt to save the Colossus, but it doesn't work out. And it looks like we've got a hold from Switch here, pushing Switch into the supply lead. Nicely defended. It was a good attempt there from GPX to make something happen here, but the power of a Planetary Fortress is not to be underestimated. 6 kills. I think one of those kills was a Colossus. So really got to be careful about taking engagements in front of one of those. That was one of those really cool, super close scenarios where the Planetary Fortress was just finishing up and the positioning was really important. Now we have this super short distance to attack. We're gonna take this Nexus down easily. Not just sort of laughing at these units as they come in. They're like, oh, you want to defend this Nexus? You're insane. Oh, the storms go down. First one is a bit of a miss, but the next couple are okay. A little bit of overlap. Keep in mind that storms that are on top of each other don't deal any extra damage at all. So you can have 10 storms in one spot, and they're gonna do the same amount of damage as one storm in one spot. So a little bit of overlap is hurting the efficiency. I really gotta get these Archons back so they can heal up. Archons, very, very strong, very survivable, can stay alive for a long, long period of time. That health bar, very deceiving. Because Archons are all shields, so if you can just keep them alive, especially when they lose all their shields like that, they're almost like an energy unit in their ability to tank, in that if you can keep them alive, they just get so much value in the long term for you. Usually it doesn't happen, but I think in that scenario, might have been a move to make. Ooh, tries to expand here again. Switch super dominant on the map right now, even going for ghosts. That army supply is just so powerful. I wouldn't mind seeing an expansion thrown down in this direction. Or just a more aggressive army placement if you're gonna attempt to hold that. Oh, that storm was a huge whiff, thanks in part to the nice splitting, nice positioning here from Switch. And this Protoss army, very small, gonna try to take an engagement over here while the rest of this army over here is getting dealt with. Nicely done. Ends up cleaning up this attack. Well split. The focus, split of the focus, the micro of both engagements at once. And just gonna be really insistent about taking this position here, and all right, getting defensive. Getting defensive, love to see this. I'm just gonna try to hold out for this position, but the economy of our Terran player has gotten to the extreme point right now, and there hasn't been any pressure from the Protoss onto the Terran for quite some time now. Really need to get these storms. Ooh, I heard some loading up. There we are. The mobility, using this mobility of the boosted medevac to pull. Oh my god, it's a lot of High Templar. If you can get a main engagement, he might be in a really nice spot. But the problem is, Switch is going to be keeping GPX on their toes. Running over here, going to be able to snipe the Nexus potentially, or just deal a lot of damage to probes. And oh, the entire, he's thinking about it. The warp in defense over here. Might be enough. No, it is not. We are getting a main engagement here. A couple of storms beginning to go down. Oh, what an EMP on all of the High Templar. High Templar giving the hugs of death to the army. The Colossus not focusing the opponent's army, just getting caught in those buildings there. Gotta be really careful with the Colossus. They have a super long range. They're very, they tend to just go ahead and target the wrong thing, or the thing that you don't want them to target because of that long range. So you really gotta keep that in check when you're controlling the Colossus there. Missed out on a bit of damage, but nice bit of pressure. Unfortunately lost this base, so pretty big deal there. The reaction to deal with this was a little bit too slow, and that's gonna be very costly. Coming in now in this position, getting a couple free units, but very aware of a potential surround incoming. See that bit of hesitation, pulling back into position. Fighting through this choke is gonna be, I think, pretty nice for the most part. And storms, oh, great EMP, almost everything. EMP follow-up too, again, looking fantastic, pulling back. These Colossus still very strong, but a lot of the damage of the Protoss was mitigated with those EMPs, stopping the storms from ever being casted, even stronger than the last engagement. GPX still behind. His base still not being retaken. We may be looking at the last desperate attempts of GPX to get back into this game. 6 High Templar warp in. Long distance mining. What are the economies like? Yeah, double for the Terran in gas and in minerals. So very rough situation. And no warp prism out on the map, no harassment, no sort of counter pressure from GPX. GPX kind of stuck in this very defensive mode. And I mean, long term, sure, if you can be cost efficient, you can defend and get into, you know, a great position that way. It's definitely a route to go. GPX gonna try and make that happen. Main engagement over here, gotta make sure the storms get down. First storm lands nicely, but all these High Templar are clumped up. Nice storms following up though. EMP's not as strong in this engagement. The problem is the buffer for the splash damage has run out, and all of the bio running in, killing all of these Colossus off. The Archons coming in to try and help out, but it's a little bit too late. All the Colossus are dead, and that's it, GG. NRG switch, really utilizing the mobility of the bio to pull the Protoss apart and taking some really nice engagements, but getting those game changers in there tech-wise with the EMPs, making a really big difference late game. So excellently played, really cool back and forth game. Thanks for sending this replay in. And as always, thanks for watching. My name is JaKaTaK. If you have an idea for a video you'd like me to do, please leave with any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with letter C in the comment section below. And I'll see you again soon.